What's your guilty pleasure?
Oh, that's unfair. Jesus, obviously, would be a pretty awesome one to be able to have a direct conversation with. To me, as an American, Thomas Jefferson is just an amazing person who helped to really shape what this country became, and I just have tremendous respect. I said, there may be somebody just totally crazy or fun or out there, maybe an Einstein or someone who you could just pick their brain and see how they looked at the universe differently than anyone else. The Rock, of course. The Rock. Guns, baby! I don't have his body style, but he's larger than life. But the biggest thing about him is he's a good human being and he loves people, and I think it exudes through his personality and his playfulness. After an event, I go get an icy at 7-Eleven. It's just so stupid. But I grew up really poor and we couldn't afford ices. And so my wife teases me. She goes, you're like, whenever you walk in that 7-Eleven, you're like that poor boy all over again. And now you got money, you can have what you want. But it's just, I don't know, it's the cold, it's the pleasure, it's bringing back, history as a child. It's an anchor, exactly what it is. So I really enjoy it. The pasta meal I love because it's just delicious and so forth, and having the carbs, and because I'm so disciplined, normally I don't get as much. So something of that nature probably. Sounds boring, but my diet is boring because I have to make this body do crazy things. Yes, I love watches. When I was in Abu Dhabi, a deep friendship with MBZ, who's the Crown Prince, and also with Sheikh Tanoon, who's just a beautiful soul. He got me started on a different set of watches, but I started collecting Richard Mille because he gave me one. As a gift that was insane, and then it's a $400,000 watch. I'm like, oh my God. But what's so great about it is it's so freaking light. Like, feel that. Like, it feels like a paper. Like, there's nothing there. But for me on stage, clapping and everything else, and I destroy all my other watches, and these have held up, which is kind of miraculous for me. So I collect watches, and I collect rings. It's my favorite thing to collect. When I grew up, I wanted to be a professional athlete, so I settled for the rings. I have rings from all those NBA rings, the Washington Capitals, and they won their first Stanley Cup, and I have a Stanley Cup ring. It's actually the largest ring they ever made in the NHL. Oh, that's unfair. There's so many great ones. I'd go like Gladiator, Braveheart, Al Pacino and Scent of a Woman. I'm a softie, Notebook, romance one because I love my wife so much. I'm reading Shoe Dog right now, which is Phil Knight's book. It's just fantastic. He doesn't usually do media interviews and so forth, so it's really got different insight into him reading the book. And I'm fascinated by genius entrepreneurs and how they built what they built and the road that they've taken and the qualities that made them successful. And Malcolm Gladwell has a new book, Talking to Strangers, which is kind of a little bit heavy because it's about some of the heavier subjects, but I like his way of looking at things. He looks at things from a different angle. I have friends in this category, so it's unfair, right? You know what I love about Kevin Hart? He's not just funny, he's just a good human being, and he's just really good to the core. And I love that about him. But I think also Chappelle is a genius. I just love Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is he's off the charts, and I love that he can just push the envelope on anything and any subject. I just recently started watching some Bill Burr.
Oh, I like Bill.
I love him. He's like, boom, he goes right at it with intensity. But Chris Rock is like you go of all time. He's one of the classic just geniuses out there. So I love guys that are really smart and fearless. Thanks, everybody.